Primo.
How's everybody?
We're here. What's up? David, you're muted. You muted yourself. You're still muted. And since you have all the controls, you have to unmute yourself. We can't help you, buddy.
That might have worked. I think we're
Live.
back.
We're looking good.
David, you're muted again. David, you're muted.
You are on mute. Look at the icon. You're on mute.
David, you're on mute. Well, Ty, it's going to be the Bryant and Ty show tonight.
Exactly. It's the Bryant side. Well, that means we're talking special teams all night, folks.
Don't run away, folks. We got a good show for you, all right? Hey, talking special teams, though, they brought in 2 kickers today. I didn't get the name of the 2 guys they brought in just yet, but I seen that they tried 2 people out, so
Yeah.
got to have somebody.
Guys, somebody's got to kick the ball.
David, are you with us?
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
All right.
We can rock.
So,
That's
for those
fine.
about to rock, we salute you.
Man, I can still hear that music turning on, too. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's just on my headset. Anyway, so here we are. Another Niners coast to coast. Minus Aaron. He'll be back next week. And we got some topics to cover here.
Oh,
So,
my.
last week, Shanahan named QB2
Mm-hmm.
and QB3. And then proceeded to trade QB3 to our arch rivals, the Dallas Cowboys.
Indeed.
And I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this situation before I speak. That's for sure. Let's go with Ty.
All right. Well, we all knew who QB1 was going to be. That was not a shock in any way, shape, or form. QB2 and QB3 was where the shock happened. We didn't see it coming. All reports of camp was that one guy was doing a little better than the other guy, consistently. And well, the funny thing was, like Kyle said, I'm not going to name anybody until like right before week 1. And then like less than 24 hours, he names who QB2 is. It was the wildest thing. It was like, wait, what happened with what you just said yesterday? So, hey, to Trey's credit, he stepped up. He said, all right, well then release me. Let me get an opportunity somewhere else. And that's what the team did. And it seems as though they were going in that direction anyway. Right? They didn't want anything to do with him for whatever reason. So they found a trade partner to give him I think they found the highest bidder, and they sent him on his way. So, hey, it is what it is. That's the business of football. Go ahead, Bryant.
It's not fair, but life's not fair either. And it's just not, I've said it a couple times, I think, to both you guys. I've met Terrell Owens. I'm not the biggest fan. I love what he was able to do on the football field, but meeting him in person 4 times was not something that I'm happy with. I wish, at 4 times, you would maybe recognize my face, or, 1 out of 4 times I should have gotten a better experience meeting you as a fan. So just because you don't like somebody or don't gel with somebody doesn't mean that you don't like them on your team or what they do for you on your team. Trey's obviously a great guy. The team's really liked him for a while. And I think it's just bad luck. It really is bad luck. He got injured in preseason, broke his finger. He got injured against the Cardinals game. Even though he played through the whole thing, he banged up his knee, because if he would have been healthy, they would have played him against the Colts next week. That's what I remember hearing.
Yeah.
And Jimmy came in for the rainstorm, the centrifugal rainstorm or something like the geez. And then, we go on from there. And, then the next season we're like, okay, because he did come in and play for the Texans and play against the Texans, and we won that game. Regardless how he started, he finished with the W. Same thing, we come back the next year and we were like, okay, we're going to give him the chance. We're giving him the team. We're pushing Jimmy. Jimmy's injured. Why are we getting rid of Jimmy? Because he can't stay healthy. It wasn't that he couldn't throw the deep ball. It wasn't because we didn't think we could win with him. He couldn't stay healthy. Going through too many quarterbacks in one season does not justify keeping you. If we're paying you all the money in the world and you're not healthy, then it doesn't do anyone any good. You're the one sitting back saying, hey, go team, go team. But, the guy wasn't even going to all the games. The guy wasn't traveling with the team. But, that's because his foot or his shoulder or his thumb couldn't jar the pain. I get it. But we go and draft a kid, and maybe they didn't spend the right amount of time drafting him. Maybe they didn't get the player they wanted. Maybe they got exactly who they thought they were going to get and thought they could mold him. But regardless, Jimmy ended up coming out the next season, and the team wanted to roll at Jimmy to begin with. Again, Trey got hurt. Maybe if he wouldn't have got hurt, they would have put him in the starting lineup his rookie season sooner, because they were trying to roll him in and out. And I know they were saying that the offense didn't gel, switching from quarterback to quarterback, during a couple plays and stuff. I get it, but I don't buy that too much. I think, having somebody come in for a second, that's like switching out the running back for a second. If it's really quick and you're just punching it in at the end, what you're doing is you want somebody to get credit. And at this point, it's not a team game, it's an individual game. Because now you guys as a team whole were like, no, we want Jimmy to throw the ball, or we want Jimmy to, score with us. I don't think that was true. I don't really think that's what people were saying. If Jimmy said it was taking him out of rhythm to, let Trey do that, I really don't think that's what was said. If it was said, then okay, I'm corrected. And, obviously I don't know these guys, but to give up on Trey after his injuries, okay, maybe you are trying to give him a place to go somewhere. But I think the problem is when Purdy came in this season, we all know Trey got hurt again, Jimmy got hurt again, Purdy comes in, and what happens? He got hurt. But I think even if he didn't get hurt, and we're talking, he did get hurt, but he played well enough through those games to make everybody feel comfortable enough, like, hey, we can move around, we can win with this guy. So you get to that point, the end of the season comes, we lose the game because he basically got hurt. I think at that moment, they had already decided they were going to trade Trey. I really think, why are you going to bring Trey back into the locker room next season and have a divided locker room? We already kind of feel as fans, as content creators, as, just people who want to talk in general about football, that there was some players who like Trey a little bit more than the other quarterbacks. Not that they don't like the other quarterbacks, or maybe we have a couple tight ends or fullbacks who like certain players. Okay, maybe they just fit better with them, or whatever it is the case. It's not an acceptable excuse, but that might be the case. So now you're dividing the locker room because some players want this quarterback and some players want this quarterback, and nobody really, there's not enough evidence for either quarterback to be just truly just, okay, this is the locker room. You have the locker room. So what did they do? They made a decision. I think they made a decision last year. They decided that they're going to get rid of Trey. I don't like saying it. I don't think a lot of people like saying it or hearing it, but I think they were going to move off of him. And then when they weren't sure about Brock Purdy's surgery or his readiness to come back, they said, okay. But it's just a little weird that they go and get Sam Darnold when they tried to trade for Sam Darnold before they tried to trade for Lance. Before we even traded up all the capital for the 3 first-round picks, we offered our first-round pick, our only pick, to the Jets, and the Jets said no. So then we're like, okay, the Jets they're not working with us here. We need more draft capital to either go past the Jets or to, entice the Jets. Say, we got a bigger bag here, man. What do you guys want? Because I think, again, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, we got Trey Lance, and then who was our other one? Mac Jones. Those are like the 5 projected quarterbacks. And then there was a couple guys later in the rounds. But I didn't hear anybody say too much about Trey Lance until after we moved up for the top 3 picks. And that's when it was like, we don't know who we're going after. The national media started saying it was Chris Sims, Kyle's friend, who have matching tattoos, go on to say that it's going to be Mac Jones. Now, why is he so confident in saying that? This is his friend with matching tattoos. They're maybe he's trying to throw a cloud out there, a smoke storm or something. But there was multiple reports by multiple media members. We know the Niners try not to leak, but they sure did. This evidence, this news that just came out about Trey leaked. And my ramble coming to an end, when they decided to disclose and announce that Trey, we're going to make you the 3rd string quarterback. I think there was some emotions and there was some words said, and there was probably some people trying to defend their place and say, why they deserve, or they feel like they should get a chance over Sam. Or when it was looked at him, and it was kind of, I think, presented to him the way it was Jimmy Ward. If you want to start, you can play this position. If you don't want to play, you can ride the bench. And I think Kyle said that in the wrong way to Trey, and Trey's like, I can go somewhere else and play then, and he said, then you can go somewhere else and play. Because to leave San Francisco, where you've had this many seasons, the playbook, there's an opportunity like that, like first game, second game, third game. We needed another quarterback our second game. So for that to happen with this team, and you already know the offense, you could have just sat back and waited for your start, and then showed the world. And then this season coming up, be like, I want out. Regardless of what happened, you guys, if that's how tainted you are of the organization. I don't think he was so tainted, but I think he wants to start. But it's really, really weird. You're not going to Dallas to be a 3rd string quarterback. Going there to be a 4th string quarterback, and I think they just cut their 3rd string quarterback, so he will be a 3rd stringer. But at the time,
they told him before the last preseason game they were going to cut him.
Yeah, so
Trey was number 3 right away.
But so it's like they made room for him to come in, but for you to leave our team again and go somewhere else to be the same thing that they're offering you here, you just really wanted out. Maybe both just wanted out, but that's my thoughts. I just think it's really, really sad, because we could have kept him as a 3rd stringer or even put him on the 2nd stringer, and I don't think it would have hurt anything. I really don't. And I think we talked about it last week, that they were going to flip first, 2nd string and 3rd string depending on the opponent coming up and what they wanted to do in practice. But I don't know. I don't think it's right, guys.
I have to agree with that. I don't think it's right. And Steve-O, Aaron is a core player. We can't trade him, buddy. He's untradeable. So just letting you know that. Now, when it comes to Trey Lance, it really sucks what happened. And I honestly look at it like it's like this. So Kyle calls up Trey and goes, all right, so Sam Darnold's going to be QB2 and you're going to be QB3. I figured I'd let you know before it hits the, the media. And Trey said, like, really? Like, at this point, and I'm sure you guys heard all the reports from everyone who was at practice, Grant Cohn, all our fellow content creators, everybody who was there was saying that Trey was outplaying Sam Darnold. So, there's Trey Lance sitting there like, okay. And he probably said, look, Kyle, you're never going to give me the opportunity that I want. So at this point in time, I want off the team. I want to be traded. And Trey being a nice guy, I'm pretty sure he didn't get too nasty with Kyle about it. And then I read up the story on Jerry Jones. And Jerry Jones is like, yeah, we found out that Trey was on the market. We called the 49ers. We weren't going to hang up the phone until the deal was done.
Yep. And Jerry also said they scouted him in the draft. And they had him on. They had Trey on their draft board as well.
So, he went to an organization that's high on him. Mm-hmm. And now we have Brock Purdy, and he got hurt too. So pretty much all our starting quarterbacks in the since 2017 have all been hurt. So that's a big issue, keeping the QB upright. And at this point in time, there's absolutely nothing anyone can do about it. He's a Cowboy.
Yep.
Will this come back and bite us? I'm going to answer that question right now. Yes. Because the kid needs reps. He needs playing time. Dak's getting older. They have some sort of contract situation that they're keeping quiet over in Dallas right now with him and Prescott. So, Trey Lance at some point is going to get the reps. He's going to get playing time. Dallas is going to give him what he needs. And we will see what he turns into. Unfortunately, he's in our conference.
We played him week 5.
Yeah.
Sunday night.
That ought to be interesting.
Yeah.
But
that's going to be a very
next up, Bosa hasn't signed yet. And I'm honestly gonna take this one first. I don't think we'll see him sign until after the 53 is announced, and he's still listed as not reported because it gives us an extra roster spot. And NFL rules, I honestly think they're dumb because to put a player on IR, they have to make the 53. Come on, guys. We're putting the player on IR. He's obviously going to be out for a while. We need someone to take his place. So that I think that's something that they could work on and change in the future because I think it's dumb.
No, you could put him on.
So like
IR.
Cameron
he doesn't
Latu,
take up a spot.
Yeah,
you can still have your 53 and have a guy
meniscus.
on IR.
He's gonna be put on IR. Anybody has to make the 53 to get there, right? So it's like, pretty much we have to put the player that we are going to be replacing them with out there for another team to pick up. I just think that's ridiculous. I
thought you can name a guy and put him on IR now.
But it gives us a chance to put Latu on IR. Mm-hmm. And then there's Nick Bosa's roster spot. So hopefully it'll happen middle of the week this week. Either way, it has to happen this week because next week is practicing for Pittsburgh.
Well, they should be practicing now.
They
got 2 weeks to prepare for Pittsburgh.
Today.
Yeah.
Yep. There were 17 guys working on the side like they were injured. 17.
Yeah, I heard it. It was a very light-ish practice. Guess they didn't want to overdo something, but I think the preparation for Pittsburgh starts now. Like you want to come out we all talk about the slow starts. Yeah. Like let's not start slow this season. Let's come out the gate with a win. Start preparing today.
Yeah. And we're also starting at one of the hardest places there is to win in a season opener.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see what I mean? Like, it's a lot going on there. Like, let's start practicing today. Let's start preparing for them today. I don't want to hear we went in there and they caught us off guard. No.
Oh, hold on. Where is it? So, now we move on to bigger, better things. Bryant, do you know any injury news on this? I mean, this subject right here. Shout out to Jess.
So we need a kicker, but kicker right now is day to day. We have Zane Gonzalez, who's probably not making the team. All reports sound like it. Jake Moody, he has a quad injury in his right leg. We wanted to see how much he could kick until he got leg fatigue, and now he's got leg fatigue. It's like, come on, like I almost feel like we jinxed him or something, but no, he pulled his quad and he should be okay, but he's day to day, so we'll see how it works out. And then Zane Gonzalez during the game the other day in warm-ups, he was stretching or didn't stretch long enough, and he pulled a calf muscle, so that's not fun. So poor Mitch Wisnowski.
That's the weird thing. He was stretching. They had him on camera stretching and doing this weird stretch. I don't know. So it's like, how did you hurt yourself? You were stretching for like 5 minutes straight. What is going on?
So because we don't really have, let's all put our tinfoil hats on now. Because we don't have really any stock into the Zane Gonzalez, he's free, right? We don't really have to exploit him or use him or trade him off or do anything because he's free. If someone else picks him up, it's okay. But if he's still there on our practice squad and for some reason he doesn't kick, I don't know. It's just a little weird. We didn't have our quarterback that we wanted to have out there. So now we have a new distraction to look at because we don't have a kicking team, a kicking squad. Our punters out there doing double duty. And, oh, geez, it's a little weird, isn't it? Now Moody, we all know we're not just going to let him go. He could be IR'd and redshirted the whole year or something. I don't want to hear it happen, but they could literally do it with him. They could pick up the phone and call a veteran. They did pick up the phone and get 2 people in there today. I got to look up on the phone to see who they did get, but they brought 2 kickers in today to practice, and it sounds like they are preparing for the worst. It sounds like we might have an injured 3rd round, 4th round selected, 3rd round overall 99 pick injured, and our tight end, not to get off the kicker topic, but it seems like our draft this year is we got a bunch of injuries again. So with our kickers, we definitely need a kicker. We need someone who's going to be there. If you're not healthy, I'm sorry. Bye, Felicia. I mean, like, what else can you say, there's no love lost, It's like, if you can't play in the game, then we need somebody to play in the game. You can sit next to me on the bench, man. We'll watch the game together. So we need a kicker, and in the next couple of days, tomorrow's cut day, so we'll find out who exactly is on the team. But I do to keep Moody, and I expect Moody to be out there week 1, but we'll have somebody signed in the backfield just in case. So
yeah, I think they were just looking at guys in case of emergency. Who do we bring in? Mm-hmm. So today we brought in Tristan Vizcaino and Taylor Russolino. Okay, Vizcaino was on a team in 2020. He went 3 for 3 in field goals, including a long of 47, 2 for 2 on PATs. And Russolino is 34 years old. He played in the XFL. So he has no real NFL experience. So there you go. So I think they're just taking a look at 2 guys, one they kind of familiar with, and one guy who just, let's give this guy a try.
Yeah, I think they're gonna give him a try.
With all the injuries we've had, though, we can't even keep our kicker healthy.
And he don't get hit.
The weirdest thing, on the last preseason game,
the player that has no contact at all gets hurt.
Exactly.
2 of them.
It's like they didn't even get hurt while kicking. It's like they were just walking on the sideline. Like, what is going on?
Cramp.
The weirdest thing ever.
You're not supposed to eat before you go swim. It's supposed to be like 30 minutes. Did they eat before the game or something like that?
I know they ate too close to kickoff. It's the strangest thing.
See Ryan's comment there.
Yeah. I mean, there is a thing called
Yeah,
too much. You can stretch too much, but
Yeah.
maybe they didn't stretch long enough. It just seems really, really conveniently weird. We'll just leave it
It's
like that.
extremely weird.
hey, it's like the quarterback situation. They had Trent Williams back there throwing balls at one point.
We
So
talked about it. We
it's
talked about
like,
it a few weeks ago. I brought it up. Trent's been throwing
yeah,
balls. Use check. Jake Moody's been throwing.
He has.
It's different guys are out there throwing. It wouldn't shock me if they had Coletto out on the practice field all by himself. Like, hey, we're going to practice this play. Just be ready. You just never know.
well, you guys know everyone's doing, well, not everyone, but a lot of people are doing 53-man predictions. And I'm not necessarily one to do that because there's always something that, we don't see coming happen.
Yep. Always.
But, at this point, what is your opinion on our free agent acquisition, Oliver?
I like olives.
He may like olives, but he doesn't like Oliver. He's been kind of a disappointment so far. I thought he was going to be flying around and making plays, and he has not. There's been other guys that have been out there that have been much more impressive than him.
There's always a reason, when they go and make a trade, and it's almost like they're giving you an extra point to make the team. And you have to really, really fail or fall hard on your face in front of them in the meetings and in practice for them. If they don't see you getting the scheme or being in the right position, then they're going to be like, yep, he's got to get rid of him. But if you're just one step slower sometimes, just because it's not right, but the capital, the draft stock and the draft selections and, sometimes trades and what your contract, depicts, that sometimes outweighs your athleticism, and sometimes it's not necessarily the best thing to do. But sometimes it is people's opinions and their personality. Maybe they just don't gel, and maybe that's why players around them, they're not gelling with them, and maybe that's why they're not playing. Because I know when you play as a team, sometimes you can get the benefits of playing with teammates who have your back, but when you're out there on an island, sometimes you don't get help. But yeah, Oliver, if he makes the team, I wouldn't be surprised. But I think Shasha brought up a good one right here.
Well, Steve Wilkes picked them. Yeah.
He said Manning.
Elm Manning, the guy from Hawaii, I believe.
He's making a roster.
Yeah.
He played some good football. It would be they'd be crazy to cut him over like Jalen Moore. Jalen Moore didn't show much. Matt Pryor, even the veteran, didn't show much.
Mm-hmm.
So they would be crazy to not keep this kid.
Jalen Moore played okay this last preseason preseason game, but Il Manning has been kind of consistent throughout. And he has definitely looked better at tackle than Jalen Moore has. Like, I always felt Jalen Moore is better suited at guard, but they got him out there. But Manning, he's got game to him. So I definitely see him making a roster, and it wouldn't shock me if they made him that number one swing tackle. I don't know if he can play on the right side, but he's looking pretty solid on the left side.
Well, the Shot Show says is agreeing with you. Moore and Pryor looked. He's saying they did look better in this last preseason game. Mm-hmm. But at this point, they're more or less fighting for their roster spot.
Yeah.
So they probably gave it all they got. And we won't know, the outcome of what happened till tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think they have until tomorrow. Is it midnight?
No, it's an afternoon. It's 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. That's the deadline.
Ooh, that's when they have to have it done.
You're going to know during the day exactly what this roster is.
That means
Yep.
I wouldn't be my phone's gonna be going notification crazy while I'm at work. I
Yep.
better have my earbuds on so no one's looking at me funny.
Yeah, so like you talk about a guy like Oliver, like is he making the roster? Well, Steve Wilkes picked him. It's that safety. Oh Jesus, that Wilkes brought in Alston. Also, is it Robinson? I should have the roster up.
I don't have I do everything with notebooks.
He's a guy that was out there. You know, we'd expected some things from, and he was out there missing tackles. And no, Miles Hartfield. Sorry, Miles Hartfield, number 38, who's in Carolina. We expected him to be out there making plays, and he got out of position a couple of times and missed some tackles, and wasn't looking too solid out there. And I'd expected more from a Steve Wilkes pick. Maybe it's because our roster is just so good, we expect a certain standard, and these guys don't play to it. We're like, whoa. But you know, being that Wilkes personally picked him, he's a guy on the bubble for me. Like
Now, would he be somebody that you would,
there?
is he somebody that you think we could possibly stash on the practice squad? Do you think he would clear waivers?
Possibly, yeah, because he's not a high-profile guy. I believe he was a backup in Carolina. Like, he wasn't a starter, so I'm pretty sure.
Don't do it, Damien. Don't do it. You want your yard to look nice.
Exactly.
Or her yard.
Oh, it's gonna be all messed up. From the Ramalee. They don't even have a good nickname.
You know, I'm not a big fan of the Rams, but I think they were just better located in St. Louis. I really do. It's in the middle of the country. I think they had a lot of fans there. Them coming back to California, it doesn't sit right. There's so many sports in California, different teams. So it's just, and you know, you look at LA, and not trying to put LA down at all, but you look at baseball. How many baseball teams do they have? Don't answer it. How many basketball teams do they have? Don't answer it. How many, football teams do they have now? They almost had 3. Yeah. You know, so yeah, come on, LA.
Get it together.
Hey, there's more 49ers fans in LA than there are Rams fans.
That's Levi South.
That's right. Well, I call it Levi's Inglewood. I call Cowboys Stadium Levi South.
Okay, that was Levi Southwest for me. Midwest. Maybe Southwest, yeah.
You're gonna have to update your shirt, do a whole United States with the map.
Yep, exactly. The way we took over the Raiders Stadium in preseason.
Yep. The Niners did. And Ty, maybe you can give us a little bit more information, because I think you've been to a lot more games than either me or David combined in really anything. I've been to a lot of baseball games as far as Little League and minor league. I've been to a lot of Ports games. We have a Stockton Ports team here. But what is the atmosphere going to different stadiums? Do they all seem to be aggressive? Do they all seem to just, because we know Philadelphia has a really horrible fan base, and there's some other teams that are horrible, but I've heard, and maybe this is biased because of my uncles, but my uncles say Chicago's horrible, but they said Green Bay's great. They are Packer fans, but they don't have a problem going to Minnesota. They said they don't have a problem going to Indianapolis. They haven't had a problem really going anywhere else. So is there like other stadiums out there that not necessarily fans should be afraid to go to, but what's a friendly stadium to go to, and what's a non-friendly stadium to go to, Ty?
I don't know. In my experience, they've all been okay. Now, I have not been to Philly in that stadium, and we all heard the stories about Philly. But other than that, like, I've been to Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Jacksonville, Atlanta. I've been around Chicago, and they've all been friendly. They've all, fans are cool. As long as you're not the number one rival, like Baltimore was the only place where guys said, hey, man, we're cool with everybody unless you're a Steelers fan, which I get. That's their main rival. And those games are knock down, drag out, bloody affairs, right?
Yeah.
So it's understandable. So for me, going into a stadium, wearing the red and gold, 49ers gear is totally fine. You're okay. You might get into some fans that talk trash, and it's the normal stuff, right? It's football's what guys do. What's what people do, period. So it's been totally fine, as long as you don't, get out of line, say things obnoxious, people can be that way. It's okay. Everyone's there just to have a good time, enjoy the game. And as long as you keep that in mind and you're all right, you're cool. Everything's fine. I think sometimes people just cross the line, and that's when things get out of hand. But yeah, I've had great experiences going from city to city, playing games, interacting with the opposing team's fans. It's been great. Like I've had when I went to Atlanta this past season, when we played them, I was exchanging barbs, having fun with the guys sitting around me. And they were like, you know what? You 49er fans are cool. And you're like one of the coolest fans we've ever had here. Like, you come back anytime. And for me, that was a great compliment. I was like, all right, well, I'll be happy to do so. So, yeah, I think it's cool. Like, even when we went to Dallas, I went to Dallas in that infamous Sea Red game. And fans there were cool. They were totally fine.
Now, when you go to games, sorry, David, but when you go to games, do you try to pay attention to what like the noise is about the team? Because I know, when we go on the road, we like to have our fans show up in the red jersey so you can see us in the stands. But typically it's the away jersey, we should typically be wearing away. So for me, I'm a little weird, I definitely make sure I have my away jerseys out during the away games and my red jerseys in. I don't have a billion jerseys, but I make sure I have my whites out when we need to be out there, on the road.
Yeah.
And, so are you like that? Do you try to, wear the same color that the team's wearing, or do you listen to what the team's asking? Because I know, like, going to the game, during the time that the offense is on the field, a lot of people they don't know. They just get loud and stuff like that. But actually, when the offense is on the field, we're supposed to be quiet. We're when the defense goes out there, then we get loud, So are you one of those people that, do you really like try to listen to what the team's saying, or do you just, hey, we're just having fun here, man. Yeah. We're just here to have fun.
Yeah, I normally wear what I want to wear. But I normally try to stay in red because it just stands out, right?
Yeah.
It just stands out. It is what it is. I know in Atlanta, people were saying, oh, they wear red, so we should wear all white for them. But you still had people wearing red and white, and that was kind of a hard stadium to distinguish us because you had fans wearing the same colors. So it's very weird. So it kind of didn't matter what color you wore there. But most people stick with the red. It just stands out, It's so distinctive. You can spot it from anywhere. And when we're all wearing it, you see the effect it has. What's interesting is that when I went to the Raiders game this past season, and a lot of 49er fans showed up wearing black. So when you're looking at it on TV, you can't really tell how many 49ers fans was in that building because a lot of 49ers fans had on their black gear. It was the oddest thing. I don't know if they're, those were the local Vegas fans that, just wanted to wear black. It was the weirdest thing. But I'd say like we were half full in that stadium. We took up half the stadium, I should say. But on TV, it doesn't look like we represented as much as we should have because not everyone was in red.
I could probably tell you a little bit about that. One of my first preseason games, my first game as, NFL game was like 98. It was when the Niners and the Raiders got to play again, the Battle of Bay, and it was in Oakland. And, it is a little, kid walking up to the stadium with his family, and my parents don't want to fight, and I'm not there to try to fight either. My dad's like 5'7" on a good day, 5'8". It's like
I can relate.
Yeah, we're not trying to
I'm
fight.
feeling tall today. I'm 5'8".
Right. But we're there to have a good time. We're there to have fun.
Right.
I'm seeing
Right.
people before we get up there, and they're saying all the, everything, all the words, everything. And you're just like, okay, I understand locker room talk. It's a football game. I get it. Right. But as the game keeps going on and we start seeing fights happen against the Niners and Raiders. And I went there wearing all black. Okay. I had my red jersey on underneath, but on the top of me, I wore all black. And my dad, he's a Raider fan, and my brothers were all Raider fans. So I go into the stadium wearing black. So I would have been one of those people like you're talking about. But I am very, very glad I wore black, and I think my parents are too, because the person behind me, when Jeff Garcia scored the touchdown in the fourth quarter, I think, in the game, I was like, yeah, right. And I actually stood up, and the guy behind me was like, oh, that's bullshit, right? Or said something right there. And my dad didn't, my dad was okay with it. And then after that, the Raiders had scored or did a tackle or something. And he's like, how do you like that, you little punk, right? And actually touched me.
Oh my gosh.
My dad lost it there for a second. He's like, don't touch my kid.
You don't touch a kid, man.
You don't talk to my kid. He's, a kid, so the guy calmed down. He really did calm down, back down. My dad, because my dad's wasn't drunk. My dad was just there to have fun. The guy was a little tipsy, and I'm glad he did calm down, because my dad would have, we were pretty close to the top of the stadium, but I've actually seen people's jerseys, jackets being ripped off, Niners and Raiders thrown over balconies. And it is a little terrifying. So I imagine that tension and stuff, because the Battle of the Bay is really huge. For it to move to Nevada, it's not that far from California. And I know plenty of fans that were still willing to travel. But the thing is you would think that the ones that are willing to travel hopefully have a little bit more up here and don't want to go next day, But for them just to have that mentality, maybe to show up with their black gear on so that they are a little bit more neutral for the Raiders stadium, that might be a way to.
Could be it. There was a fight in the stadium. It was a few sections over from me. And I can't remember who it was. I can't remember what colors they were wearing, but there was a fight a few sections over for me in the stadium. I'm in the lower part of the bowl, and they were like closer to the field than where I was. So there's still a little bit of that holdover of what you talked about there.
Yeah. It some people can live with it, and some people they take it too serious. And I mean, I say don't bet on the game. I say have fun, root for the team. But if you're good at betting and you go for it, you do what makes you happy. But for me, I don't need all that extra stress or tension. I just want to go there and cheer and be happy.
Have fun. That's right.
So I've honestly never been to an NFL football game, guys. This,
what in the
I've never been.
Holy heck!
I've been to the Utah Utes, Rice-Eccles Stadium. I've been to a couple games there. I've been to the Los Angeles Angels AAA affiliate in Salt Lake City, the Bees. I've been there to their games. The Los Angeles Dodgers. No, hold on. It's the AA affiliate for the Los Angeles Angels. And then it's the AAA affiliate for the Los Angeles Dodgers, 6 minutes away from me. So, I go when I can, when it's fun. But I've never been to an NFL game. I've never experienced it whatsoever.
So Ty, without getting too much out, of line, and we keep it football, but could you let us know? Because I think you know what I'm talking about. What games are you going to be going to this year that you're planning to go?
So right now, I am 100% confirmed for Week 1 in Pittsburgh. Week 3 in Santa Clara at home.
All right.
And then, holy crap. Hold on. Week 11 at home versus Tampa Bay. So those are written in pen. I'm good to go there. I am eyeing week 10. Tampa Bay is week 11. Week 10 at Jacksonville. It's here on the East Coast. That's an easy flight for me. And those tickets are normally very cheap. So like last year I went and tickets were like $85. And so I was in there. So those are the games I am planning on attending this season. Although with the Trey Lance trade, Week 5 Dallas is very intriguing to me.
Oh boy, that would be a
That's a
good game.
game I was thinking about going to, and now I'm like, yeesh, man, that Sunday night is going to be hot.
In a real morbid way, I just realized I've seen Trey Lance's first play in Santa Clara against the Green Bay Packers, and I've also seen his last play against the Broncos.
Look at that.
In Santa Clara. Just
It's all
full
your
circle.
fault, Brian.
Yeah, it's my fault.
It's all
Right?
your fault.
Mhm.
But, yeah, I guess there's going to be a group of us being able to attend. So, Ty, I look really forward to meeting you on the week opener. The week
Going there. All right, nice.
I have some pretty cool news. David will be coming out, and I got a pretty cool spot. So David's going to be able to camp out for a couple days, maybe at my house, and then we'll be going together. So we'll look forward to meeting you as well. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. So you guys might everybody in the chat, you guys might you might see a bunch of us go live at one time. Just say hello.
Exactly. That's going to be good.
We have to have like a pod out in front and everybody wait.
Yep.
But
Exactly.
have like a team photo. But yeah, David, what else you got, man? I know Tony brought this comment up.
Yeah, we definitely. So does Elijah Mitchell make the roster? I'm 50-50 on it, but I'm leaning towards no because he just can't stay on the field.
I'm leaning toward yes because he's so good and he does not put the ball on the ground. He's a good receiver. He's a good runner. When he gets out there, he just looks different, right? He runs hard. And we saw the preseason game, Jordan Mason fumbled going into the end zone. And that's been a theme throughout camp. They reported he's had a case of the fumbles. And he's dropped easy screen passes. We saw that in the Raiders game. So I believe they want Mitchell. They'll keep Mitchell on the roster because they know of his ball security. And that's the number one thing.
Right?
And he practiced today.
I like Mitchell, but he's got to stay healthy. He's got to stay healthy. If he doesn't stay healthy, then we can't keep him. We can't keep players that can't stay healthy. But when he's out there, the dude can fall forward for a first down. I mean, you just hand him the ball and he just like, he's that big. He just like falls straight forward and it's a first down. So, I mean, like he doesn't get pushed back most of the time unless it's our defense. I think that's what was happening this time around in practice. I think there was some words exchanged and the defense is like, all right, we're going to show you, buddy. And they're actually tackling him to the ground, I understand. So that's not good when your defense got a grudge against you. Yeah. But hey, maybe it only makes you better or stronger, right? Exactly. So he's got to stay healthy, but he doesn't really have anybody else that I've ever seen push him backwards. He's always falling forward, and I'd rather have a player that moves the change forward than always getting tackled in the backfield. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he lasts because I believe they will finally rotate backs this season.
Oh, that would be
so
good.
It won't be all just him and CMC. I believe Mason will get some carries. I believe TDP will get some carries. It depends on which one of them suits up. And I believe since Mason has the edge on TDP because he plays special teams also, I can see the same thing we did last year. He'll suit up. We'll have TDP not suit up. And that'll be the top 3 running back rotation.
Ty, that's a good point. And I don't know if this is exactly your point, but I think you're on. You put something in my head. Now I'm thinking, is it because Breda and we had Coleman and Mostert and they kind of already knew the offense? They've already been around a little bit, so they're not rookies. And now we have all these backs that we were just talking about, CMC, Mitchell, TDP, and Mason. All these guys know. They know.
Exactly. This is their second season. They had their redshirt first season. Now I believe they'll get some run. And if you remember that Raiders game, they all got touches. They all played. They all contributed. That was the one game where we were screaming all season, Kyle, use the backs, rotate them, don't overwork CMC. And in that game, and when we needed them, we needed to come back in that game. Kyle went to the run, and he used all those guys, and it paid off. So I believe that he learned from that, and he'll stick to it.
I think you're onto something. Anybody, Steve, if you're still here, clip it. Ty just solved the problem for us. We're winning the Super Bowl now because Ty, dude, if we can rotate our running backs this year, right?
Boom.
Look
That's
at what
right.
we did in 2019. We used Mostert,
Same
Breida,
recipe.
and Coleman.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We were rotating
So-
them backs. We had the running game rolling. And whoever was the hot hand that day, that's the one Kyle like leaned toward the most. But it kept all those guys fresh. So you didn't know from week to week who was going to hit you. So there you go.
Yeah. Corey, they have not had a press conference with Trey Lance announcing anything yet.
They're
So,
not.
They're
not.
probably not going to. Yeah, they're probably
Yeah.
not going to.
Dallas has
So
enough
I've been
fanfare going on.
I've been
They're
a
not.
big. I've been big on we need to trade for this guy.
But what's his number?
Oh, that makes
Jonathan Taylor.
a good point too. Because some players we're not trading for, just their numbers. If your numbers retired, you're not coming. We're not doing it. I think that's
No, it's not necessarily that as it is. You know what? Like the Colts first, he asked for a trade, and Jim Irsay said no, we're not trading you. And then here it is, Jim Irsay granted him permission to seek a trade, but it's like while you're seeking a trade, are you negotiating a contract extension, which is something we're probably not in the works for her if we actually did acquire him. He's a home run hitter, though, 4.39 40 speed.
Yeah.
And he's a home run hitter. I think he missed like 5 or 6 games last year.
Mm-hmm.
But, that's not bad compared to Elijah Mitchell, So I would 100% take this guy, though. Imagine him and CMC. I know it. How are you going to stop that? And then while the defense is accounting for them, they're not accounting for Debo, Ayuk, Kittle, Danny Gray, Juwan Jennings, Ronnie Bell. Actually, I got to throw him in there too. He's, he looked pretty good in preseason.
Yeah, depending on what they would want, how much of that salary has already been paid, what we would need to pay him.
It's his rookie contract, and I know it's the 4th year of his rookie contract.
Yeah, he's only due to make $5.1 million this year. I mean, I'm saying only. Look at me.
Yeah, only.
Yeah. I wish I only made $5.1 million this year. But yeah, it's kind of. I think that would eat up half of the salary we have left under the cap. And I know they want to keep some money in reserve for injuries and stuff like that. So I don't know. And what would they want? I mean, he's a top flight back. I'm sure they wouldn't just give him away, right? You got to pony up a second, third. Like, he's that talented.
Yeah.
Low first.
We should have a couple thirds. So, I wouldn't mind ponying up a third, and I think we got a ton of sevenths. So let's just give him like a third of sevenths and a seventh. Yeah, you're that's you thinking Indianapolis will accept that. Like, sure.
Now
take our best player for that.
We don't really have a guarantee, but if this was an offensive like tackle or right tackle or something like that, then I would be like, yeah, let's offer him our next first round pick or something. Like, let's go this year right now. What do we need to do to go and win a Super Bowl? I don't think Jonathan Taylor is a bad player. I'd love to have him, but I don't think he's going to help us win the Super Bowl this year. He won't hurt us when he would help us for sure, but I don't think we already have backs. We got.
And that's
So this guy would have to be like, is this Mr. T.O.? Like, is this the Terrell Owens of running backs right now? If it was Henry, from Tennessee, I'd be like, yeah, let's sign him right now. But that's not where we're at right now. We already have like 4 or 5 backs that are really, really good.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that separates Jonathan Taylor from the backs we're talking about is Jonathan Taylor is a home run hitter. He can take it to the house. He's got the speed.
Yeah.
Then yeah.
And that's something we don't have in the running back room. Yes, CMC's good and he's pretty quick, but he doesn't have that home run hitting type of factor
Elijah
that Jonathan Taylor had.
Elijah Mitchell has speed, but Jonathan Taylor's at a different gear.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like, remember Matt Breida? He was our change of pace kind of speed back.
Yep.
He's like Matt Breida on steroids though, because he's bigger and badder.
He's stronger. He's bigger and stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if he's faster because Breida had speed, but he's big and strong as well. But yeah, I'm agreeing with Brian. Our running back room is loaded. Like, that's not the difference maker we need. Like, if there was like a right tackle available who was an upgrade over McKivitz.
Yeah.
Then you're like, or an edge rusher who's an upgrade over Cleveland Farrell and Drake Jackson. Then you're like, okay, can we get this guy in here without, eating up all of our salary cap and stuff? Then that's like the difference maker you can add on.
I don't know if we need Drake Jackson. I don't know if we need to get someone. He did have 8 batted balls, last year, 3 sacks, played 15% of the downs. And the dude is like, he is so athletic for his size. It's not funny. So I don't know if we actually need to get someone. I want to see him, get more time on the field and see what happens. But I get a feeling he's going to be back there harassing that quarterback.
I think with the rotation, I'm in agreement with you. And I believe with the guys that we have and how they will rotate them in and out, keeping them fresh, that we're going to get a lot of production from that position, from those guys. I feel the same way about the running back position. Like, they'll rotate those guys in finally, and we'll get production out of them. So I don't feel this big need to go out and get somebody. I know everybody's like, oh, go out and sign this player and sign that player. They're still a free agent. I don't see it that way. I think our roster is good the way it is.
Yeah, when you're signing people though, you end up paying them too much. Like Hargrave is probably worth every bit of $21 million. But this is what. So shout out to Laura Cat. Thanks for coming,
Laura. Hey.
And then we got Taylor. Taylor wants 14 to 15 million annually a season. So when he's asking for a trade, he's asking for a trade and negotiating an extension, which is something we're not going to do.
We're not going to do.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. We're paying CMC already.
Yep.
Pretty decent money, but we're not going to pay that kind of money for a running back. That's just not going to happen.
Nope.
All right, guys. Here's the question, probably of the day. I know the question was the kicker. We all know. We're not lying, but. Kinlaw, is he making the team?
I think he makes it. But he'll just be that rotational guy, and we'll just let him walk at the end of the season.
I agree. I was listening today too, and I like Kinlaw. I'm really excited about him. The last couple of games we've talked, and I've like, man, the guy's gotten a lot of push and doing better and better. Well, the Bronco game, I don't think he got to play. But this game he got to play. The Charger game, I know he got to play. And,
Chargers, sorry. Yeah.
But I was hearing reports today too. He might not even get to start if he does make the team. And
he's not start.
Yeah, he won't start. So if he comes on, if they do sign him to the 53, he's not starting. So, and this is his last hurrah. Even if he has a fantastic season, they're not. I think their bridge, it's burnt a little. I don't think they're coming back from that. So,
Yeah, as soon as we signed Javon Hargrave, we knew he wasn't starting. He was just going to be a rotational player. You don't have to use him as much. Less workload on him. Just get out there, hold the fort for a couple of plays while this guy takes a breather,
Yep.
then get back there. If we go to the five man defensive front, maybe you get out there on that sometimes or on goal line. But other than that, you are not starting. So he's going to be part of the D line rotation as a backup. And at the end of the season, we will let him walk because we got plenty of other guys in there that can, fill those shoes.
Well, I've seen some roster predictions here and there, and a lot of people are picking Givens and T.Y. McGill to make the roster.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly think Givens got outplayed by Kalia Davis and that rookie Davidson.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of like they have some tough decisions to make on the interior.
Yes.
And Kinlaw, he was getting pushed around by guys here and there. He's working on getting his pad level low. The last game, he it looked like he was getting more leverage and doing what he needed to do. But I'm also looking at the backups. Like, I would hate to see like Kalia Davis. Every play he was in on, it seemed like he got penetration, but wasn't like getting out of his lane to get it. He was going through whoever he had to go through to get the penetration. So, Davison, it was hard for any offensive lineman to move him around. So I'm honestly hoping they make the roster. I mean, we're going to find out tomorrow by, what is it, 4 o'clock Eastern?
4 o'clock Eastern.
1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, yeah?
Yep.
So we're going to know by then. But I wouldn't be surprised to see him keep 5 interior linemen.
I wouldn't either. Especially when a guy like Kerry Hyder, they play him inside and outside. Right? So he's kind of that tweener. He can do either one. And we saw him getting pressure on Friday night also. Like, he was out there making plays. So D-line is definitely a tough one to pick because you got like 10, 11 guys you can probably keep and play them all, but you can't keep them all. So I don't feel good for the job that Chris Kasarik has coming up and deciding, who he's probably up. He's going to be up late tonight, crossing that final guy off, and then like, oh no, I changed my mind. Let me erase that. And crossing this guy off, like, nope, let me erase that. So he's got a tough job ahead of him.
Yes, he does.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so the 53 comes out tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going live tomorrow night. I might end up working late, but either way, I might. I don't know. We'll see. But do you guys have any final thoughts or any subjects that you would like to cover before we go?
Not really. I think we had a good show. There's a lot of stuff out there that people probably are still upset about, and that's not necessarily the show we are here for. We're more of a, sit down, listen to it, have fun, maybe get a good refreshment, something, but for the most part, I just want everybody to, know it's about the team. Sometimes the team doesn't make the best decisions, but we still love them and root for them. It's kind of like family. Sometimes family doesn't do what you want them to do, but you still support them at the end, and you support them as long as you can. So, David, thanks for having us on. We did miss Aaron tonight, but again, sometimes people need to take a break, and it's one for all and all for one here, guys. So
exactly. Aaron, we got your back. We held it down for you. We'll
Okay,
see you next week.
Tony came out with a question. So real quick, who's your guys' surprise cut?
Man.
And we have a Wolf sighting.
Yes, we do. He's been here the whole show. Thank you, Wolf.
What up?
More than likely, you guys keep the notifications out. Be looking because when Bosa gets signed, David McNiner and Wolf and me will probably go live. Ty, if you're around, we'll bring you in too. But
Okay.
yeah, we're gonna when Bosa's signed, we're probably gonna try to go live as soon as we can. But surprise cut. I'll say Kinlaw.
Yes, for me, it's been in between Kinlaw and Isaiah Oliver.
For me, it's Juice. We got
Ooh.
that Coletto guy.
See, I had Juice being cut next season.
See, I know he's got 2 more years on his contract, so I don't see him. I see him playing his whole year out, or then maybe trading him next year. I don't see us cutting him because
it's 2 years. This one and the next one, correct?
Yeah, 2026. I think.
Yep.
He's
2 more years under contract. I think he's played most of the contract, so I don't know the cap implications, the dead money. But I think he's played most of has been paid a lot of money, to just be the fullback. And we got this guy Coletto, and we're gonna have to replace the man at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next year he's due $7.5 million in the final year of his contract, which is a lot.
And the Niners, we have an opt out after this year, if I read that right. I was looking at his contract.
But yeah, even so, if we do that post June 1 cut, it'd only be a $1.3 million cap hit, and we would save $6.2 million. And we know we got some escalated salaries on the books for next season, so that's why I can easily see him as a salary cap casualty, I should say.
Yep.
Shout out to Laura Cat. Do you guys care about Taco Tuesday being cut? He got hurt a couple of weeks ago, I think, or a couple of days ago. So that was very sad. And then Steve-O, I had tacos today. Right on. He'll eat lasagna tomorrow. Why not? And then Tony, she loves Taco Tuesday too. So yeah, guys, man, thank you again for coming. Everybody, please like, share, subscribe. Tell people about David's channel, about Ty's channel. Tell them about mine if you like.
Yeah.
Either way.
You got the Bryant Culp YouTube channel. You got the Stay Faithful podcast and East Coast Red and Gold.
Yep.
That's Ty Alston. And of course, you're on my channel, so I hope you're subscribed. Don't forget to hit that notification bell.
Yeah, and drop a like on this video.
But
just a click.
Yep, please. And subscribing's free.
Free. Who doesn't like free?
Hey,
all right. Go Niners and F the Lambs. Right?
Stay faithful, everyone.
Stay faithful, everybody.